4, 3, 2, 1. Hey everyone, so we're back with my very good friend Brad. We're going to talk about Mario today. So the Mario franchise, all of our memories
So good.
with Mario,
So good.
just everything associated with Mario to do with us.
Yeah, just our like first experiences and stuff like that. I'm going to play the role of the interviewer right now. What was your first experience? No, you're immediately just so disappointed in me. I'm taking the reins.
Fine. Okay, so what was the question?
What was your first initial sequential day one of Mario?
So this one that I really want, this is partly why I want to do the video, just to talk about this, because I love telling the story. It's not really a story, it's like just a quick little thing that happened. So my first time playing Mario was, first of all, it was my first game that I ever played. The first Mario game. And it was when I was 4. And my dad bought me an original Nintendo Entertainment System. So this would have been 1992. Super Nintendo would have already been out.
That's when I was born, actually.
Crazy. But I didn't know anything about Super Nintendo, I don't think. And he got me that. But he kept it at his... So he was living with his dad at the time. Like, he wasn't living with his dad up until that time, but just happened to be. So he, in his bedroom, all he had was a black and white TV. It was basically like this big, maybe like 13 inches or maybe 20, I don't know. But like the brown, like silver, like wood paneled outside. And so that was my first experience playing Mario on a black and white TV.
Old school as fuck, actually.
Yeah, so I didn't see colors. I didn't know what color. I didn't know he was red and what I think at the time he's red and gray. What is it? Red and brown, red and gray.
Didn't see
I
colors.
should know this, but yeah, I'm still colorblind. But he didn't have the iconic red and blue. But yeah, like I played it there, and then it came with Duck Hunt packed in. It was the twofer, and yeah, that's so. Black and white Mario, that's where my nostalgia is at. They need to make a black and white Mario cartridge just for my nostalgia.
So this might be a little bit of a tangent, a little too early on, but there is a OS on some website somewhere where it takes any NES game, but it was the Super Mario World, Super Mario Brothers 3 that really grabbed my attention, where it turns it three-dimensional.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
it blew my mind.
Yeah, that's amazing.
At the same time, it's such a simple little thing, but seeing it with the depth just made it so much more captivating. Probably because it's a layer of nostalgia for us on top of it just being something that we enjoy, which is kind of the same thing.
It's so simple. Like it's not simple, but like how they're able to do that. I think with any game, like I don't know if they add the effect onto the game. It's not per game.
I think it's software that the game is put into that just adds like a depth layer and stretches out.
Yeah, but it works so well. Like it seems like it was made that way.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah,
but that is your first interaction with that. What would you say the next step in the line for Mario and for you? Probably number 2, I would assume.
I think I don't remember that as vividly. I think we had 2 and 3. Yeah, we definitely had 2 and 3. I don't remember which I played in which order, but yeah, like 3 probably at the time was my favorite. I would actually say now that I don't know, just for nostalgia's sake, I put 1 slightly above 3, even though 3 is a better game. It's just it's classic, it's timeless, the original, and
it's concise. It's boiled down to like what Super Mario Brothers is to me, and it's one I always go back at. It's the one that I think I'm personally the worst at compared to all of the original two-dimensional platformers, I would say.
So after that, we got, so my brother had a Super Nintendo. It wasn't mine, but we used it as a family, and he had Super Mario World. And yeah, that was great as well. I think but the first time I played Super Mario 64 was at Jumbo Video. So for anyone that doesn't live in Canada, or maybe even lives in Canada, there was, or is older than or younger than 20 years old, there was a video store called Jumbo Video.
And video stores are these things where you could rent, which is a very interesting one.
What? You don't
Videos
stream it?
and video games, which is very interesting. You
Whoa.
don't see renting video games very often. But back in our day, that was the cheapest and easiest way to get your hands on video games.
And that was like the most exciting thing in your week. It was a trip, going like literally and figuratively going to.
Was an exciting day being at the movie store. Well, movie retailer, let's say. Blockbuster's probably the ones that you have heard of anyways.
So I go to Jumbo Video and they have a demo of Super Mario 64 playing, and so I start playing. I never played the N64. This was like the first, yeah, because it wasn't out yet. This was like 2 months or something before the system came out, and I never used an analog stick before. Now people probably don't understand this concept, but analogs were a foreign thing. The analog on a controller. So
That seems so hipster. Like,
Yeah.
I was playing games before analog sticks.
yeah, but it's true. Like
Change the fucking game though. Change the game. No.
Wait, what?
Analog sticks change the game.
Right.
It's a dumb pun.
Yes. Yeah.
Cut that out.
It was all right. So before that, we just had D-pads, directional pads, or whatever, digital pads. People refer them as different things.
Or the plus sign on the left side of the control stick.
I think we have to assume that our audience are gamers. We can't assume that they're not.
I just like to
Gamer.
pretend people are stupid.
I
Isn't
get
that right, Adam?
What?
I don't know what you're talking about there.
So, anyways, I'm using the analog stick on the N64 controller, and I don't really understand the concept of it. And you start off outside of Princess Peach's castle, and you have to go up like a hill, and I couldn't go up the hill. Like I was walking up it, I kept sliding down, and I also didn't. I think that was the first. So this was just the first 3D game I played, like three-dimensional.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand that concept or the analog stick, and I kept trying to go up the hill, and I kept sliding down. I'm like, why am I not going up a hill? Because like in a two-dimensional game, you just walk up a hill. Normally, you could walk up it, and I felt frustrated, but also just kind of bewildered. Like this is such a weird, interesting. It was like Frontier. We've never seen this before.
Something I experienced when I was playing Super Mario 64 for the first time was because of all the other games that I played, it's you move forward and you get to where you're going. The entire first area outside of the castle, there's signs everywhere to teach you every single mechanic of the game for people who are literally playing 3D games for the first time. I didn't do that. I went straight to the castle and then just went straight in and didn't know what the hell I was doing and got super frustrated, and then I put it down for an unfortunate amount of time. It wasn't my game. It was at a friend's house, and unfortunately it put...
How old were you?
I was pretty young. I was like 6 or 7. I think it was a little after my... A sad moment, parents got divorced. Yeah, we were visiting somebody.
Don't bring people back into reality. People don't
No,
want
we're
reality.
Here for video games.
People don't
Stop.
like to hear like things that aren't going to just entertain them.
This might be a really weird tangent, though. So, we were visiting the pastor of our church on an island cottage that he had that had a church on the island, because he was also the pastor for the lake area that we lived in, and it was a really nice vacation. But anywho, it kind of soured me on three-dimensional Mario games for quite a long time until Super Mario Sunshine came out, and then it captivated me. Like the entire world was right up my alley. beaches. Like Isle Delfino felt like it was built for me. It was Mario on vacation, which is kind of ironic because he's immediately put to work once he gets there. Clean up our island, god damn it. But like,
I mean, for a game at that time, like most games were very fast paced. Like it had a kind of resort vacation-y feel, even if you're within, like, you're playing the gameplay, because it just the atmosphere of it. So it at the time it kind of had that feel, anyways. Even though it's not very relaxing, like having to fight
monsters all the time. Yeah. It was a stressful situation, completely decorated with relaxing things. Whether it was like a beautiful small scenic town or like a really sunny fun beach with sandcastles everywhere, to I immediately went to the last level, which is inside of a volcano, which is less relaxing. But like everything else is just so wonderfully done, in my opinion, and it was fun and exciting, and the new mechanics with Flood were really pushed it in a way that I found was interesting, because like there was the general Super Mario 64
So explain
mechanics.
to Flood for people who don't know, and Flood. I didn't know earlier.
Right. So Flood is an acronym for something that I can't remember at this time, unfortunately, but basically it was a backpack with a squirt nozzle that you could squirt in any direction, that had a sentient AI that would talk to you and shit like that. But basically, it's part of the mechanic of the game was you had to clean the island of this magical paint, which there was this spray nozzle, there was a hover nozzle that changed three-dimensional movement in quite an interesting way. There were some others that you unlocked eventually, but right now I'm just gonna stop with those ones. It's basically it's the vacuum cleaner from Luigi's Mansion, except for Luigi's Mansions didn't change the moving mechanics all that much, other than when you were like pulling on the ghosts and it would like move you around. It added three-dimensional movement, which was very interesting. What were your feelings about Flood?
Well, it's interesting that you say that, because you told me too that was probably your favorite Mario game.
Yeah, it hit me like right at a good age. I was like 11 or maybe 12. I was just starting to get good at video games, which was the thing that probably helped as well.
I was late. It was a few. I didn't feel like I was good until I was like 20. Like I sucked.
Oh man, I started watching speed runs here and there of various games, and I jumped on to one that was Super Mario Sunshine, and I found out there was speed running mechanics that I just stumbled upon as a child, like fast moving. If you spray the ground, you would slide, but if you slid jumped, you'd like keep your momentum going for as long as you didn't hit a wall, kind of thing. And like I fairly well mastered for a 12-year-old, I would say, the mechanics of that game, because I played it so much. It was also at a time where like I was a kid in the country who didn't really have anything else to do other than play a video game, so I put a lot of time into it. All the other Mario games, it was, on top of them being simpler and easier, it was hard to sit down and play them continuously because there was no saves or anything like that.
Right.
Which was very defeating. That like you could only play it for a couple hours and then you had to, unless you get the whistles or whatever to help you get back to that point. But like I was very frustrated by that kind of stuff. If it wasn't a game that you could just pick up exactly where you left off, it was harder for me to get back to it. Nowadays, I can run through those games though. Like I can make it to the final boss in not speedrun time, obviously, but like under 20 minutes, I can make myself there.
On Mario Sunshine, talking about.
No way. Oh right.
No, what on which game?
On Super Mario Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 3, Super Mario Brothers World. I know the fast tracks to get myself where I need to be, kind of thing. And that's something I do like about that game, that the secret knowledge, quote unquote secret knowledge of getting farther into the game, the whistles, the star warps, kind of thing. The pipes in the first Mario where they could hop you like 4 levels at a time farther into the game. It kind of bums me out that they're more linear, I guess you could say, but not enough that I'm never mind. I was going to say not complain about it, but obviously I'm complaining about it. It's neither here nor there. I hit a wall.
That's all right. So my feelings about Mario Sunshine, it's kind of interesting that you say you have such nostalgia for it. I remember playing it at the time when it came out, and I thought it was a great game. The water mechanic, especially using the pack and spraying like whatever muck off walls and stuff like that, was groundbreaking. Like I hadn't seen anything like that in a game. And yeah, everything, the music, all the production, everything. It's still a classic, but I feel like
one of the best soundtracks to any game, in my opinion. Which I may obviously be biased. I still listen to the Isle Delfino theme every once in a while.
But I felt like, especially at the time, it was the GameCube was kind of a weird console. Like you're saying, Luigi's Mansion came out and people were expecting a Mario game, and you're Luigi with a vacuum cleaner, which that game was
with a very relatively small world. Actually,
yeah.
like
So
everything was confined into that one house.
Like people at the time were like, "What the fuck is this? Why isn't there a Mario game?" And it kind of got bashed a little bit, unreasonably so. I think that is a really good game too.
Yeah,
but
it's just not what people were expecting.
Yeah, but then Mario Sunshine came out, and then it was like, yeah, it's a Mario game. It has most or all of what we expect from Mario game, but then you have this jetpack or water jet mechanic.
A weird innovation.
And it did like it seemed for me at least to slow down the flow of a Mario game, because Mario, I think of running and jumping, platforming, and I don't know. I wouldn't put that up as one of my favorite Mario games, but I still have fond memories of it, and I think it's still a classic game. But what mainline Mario game isn't classic?
Yeah, like they're almost immediately classic out of the box, minus like the
literally out of the box.
Other than like the really weird offshoots that you just don't usually hear about, like Mario Hotel and Mario is Missing and shit like that.
Mario Paint, though, actually that was kind of that was a really fun game. I remember back in the day, like that was.
It was more like a fun art project that's Mario themed.
Yeah,
but, like it was really.
I rented that several times, I think, which is crazy.
Funny. I played with the musical part of it more than anything else. I wasn't much of a paint person, although I did make dumb paint pictures on my computer when I was bored. That one, when I had the time to sit down in front of it, it was the musical thing that made me the most inclined to keep fucking with.
Yeah. So, yeah, you said your favorite is Mario Sunshine, so is that correct?
Yeah, I would say without a doubt.
Or most fond memories, or both?
Both. Favorite, most fond memories. Definitely. Yeah, for some reason, Mario Party popped into my head, and I was like, no, that's, first of all, no. Second of all, no. Third of all, that's
I guess we're
game.
talking about mainline Mario games.
True.
Because there's so much, it's a universe. It's like,
because then we can go to, like, Super Mario Strikers and shit, like, the offshoots. How did you feel?
Crazier than the Marvel universe. Like, it's...
Super Mario and Sonic at the Olympics.
Universe.
Apparently they're in the same universe now.
For me, I mean, I have so much nostalgia with the original Mario, Super Mario Bros. 1. But I don't know. This is kind of embarrassing for me to say, but the only Mario game that I've completed is Mario Odyssey. So that was recently I played it. That game, it's not a very difficult game unless you play the post-game aspects that you're on the dark side of the moon. And you have to go through 4 bosses in a row without dying, and it took me about 2 hours, but I completed it. But the mainline game... But, pound myself in the back. But, yeah, I really love that game. But then Mario 64, I have very fond memories of too, as well. And But then Mario 3, I think, is the most, in terms of everything coming together, as far as a two-dimensional platform game, every element coming together, that game is perfect. So it's really hard to say. It's like a toss up between uh, Mario 1, Super Mario Bros. 3, Mario 64, or Mario Odyssey. But then Mario Odyssey, in some ways, I almost have a similar issue with Sunshine, in that I feel like it was somewhat of a more pure Mario game, but then it kind of had elements of like open world and also just kind of like doing other quirky tasks, like having all these tasks and kind of branching out a little bit into other elements that weren't Mario like. Which is like, I loved it as fan service. It's amazing, and it expands beyond the fan service. But it's hard to say. I don't know. It's a really tough one.
I think part of the reason they did a lot of that stuff as well is because like they need to fill out time in the game. Like they did really well to do it and very faithfully to Mario, but like you can't have just like these empty-ish worlds from the 64 era. Like every corner has to be chocked full of content nowadays, and they did an amazing job of it.
Yeah, they did. They really did. The ending, the last level of that game, like, is amazing. I won't spoil it, but I just had a smile on my face the whole time. And then the first post game world that opens up, I was just ecstatic. Like, I remember, I think I showed you what it is.
You did, and I was just...
It just brings back the nostalgia. Like,
my voice went up, and I was, oh my god, this is so amazing. It's hit me in a way that I didn't expect to be hit in a game. Like, it brought me back to a childlike wonder.
Yeah.
From the moment that he handed me the controller, it was just like, here you go, have fun. And it was just it was seeing a world that I didn't expect to see in such clarity.
Yeah, exactly. Like, please bring us the Mario 64 remake. Like, I think there was a fan remake I heard that was in the works for that.
That's interesting. There was a Super Mario 64 DS as well.
Right.
What you start out playing as Luigi, like
were the graphics a little bit better for that? I think
they were a little better, but it was DS. It wasn't even like 3DS, which I don't think I think the 3DS graphics are tolerable. I would say they're not that great. And I didn't get that far into it compared to like the 64, which I still didn't actually beat.
But yeah, I really have to get on. Like, I'm terrible at like basically any game before the PlayStation era. Even some of the PlayStation and 64 games, I'm not very good at. I didn't beat games when I was younger. Like, and I made it a point maybe about 10 years ago, during a certain period of time, every game that I started playing, I tried to beat, and most of them I did complete.
I think the first one that I actually completed was Super Mario World.
Yeah, that's probably one of the easier ones, but I still kind of suck at that game. Like, I would have to sit down for an entire day, not saying it would take me an entire day, but I would have to clear that amount of time to be able to complete it. Maybe it would take me a whole day. I don't fucking know.
The only reason I did it is because I lent my buddy the Game Boy Advance cartridge that had it. That's a part of the other reason that I got it done. Like, it was on a mobile console that I used to have on me all the time. So I lent my buddy it, and he gave it back to me in less than a week, and I was like, I beat it. I was like, I've been trying to beat this game for basically a decade at this point, and I still haven't been able to. So I sat down and I grinded as hard as I could, and I did it. I was like, and then he asks for it if he wants to play it again, so I give it to him. And I was like, yeah, I 100%ed it this time. I got every Yoshi coin. I beat every way, every secret exit. And I was just like, you fucker. So I tried to do that. And that's the first game I actually 100%ed. And it took so much time and dedication to actually get it done. And it's not even the hardest game, which is the funniest thing.
Yeah.
So disappointing.
Side note, I'll just briefly talk about the Mario Kart games. The original Mario Kart, I loved. That was one of my favorite games on Super Nintendo when it was released. At that time, I didn't have the game. I don't believe we owned it, but I would go over to. There was someone who owned it. Every time I go over to their house, be like, I want to play this game, and yeah, that was great.
Exactly the same. Like, it was such a good multiplayer game as
Yeah.
well. Like, when you're over with the friends, there was few other games where you could just, like, jump in and play.
It still holds up, even though like my cousin came over, a different cousin than I was mentioning earlier, but he's like, oh, you want to play Mario Kart? I'm like, okay, I have the Mario Kart 8, that one's the best. He's like, no, I want to play Mario Kart the original. I'm like, okay, fine. I mean, it is on the Super Nintendo Classic Mini, so it's HD graphics, so it's not like doesn't look like total trash. It looks good actually, but we're playing it and I was really
I
enjoying.
wouldn't mind playing it later, actually.
Yeah, I was really enjoying it. I'm like, you can't once you forget. I mean, you don't even necessarily need to forget there's other Mario games. It's just good on its own. So my experience with Mario Kart after that wasn't really. I didn't really play. Okay, I played Mario Kart 64 for a period of time. It was good. It didn't have the same effect on me as the original. Played Double Dash, thought it was good as well. Same thing. Never played the Wii one. I've heard people say good things about that as well. And then there was the handheld games. I think there was one on Game Boy Advance, or that might have been. I think that was like a semi or pseudo remake of the original, but I'm not sure. It might have been its own game.
I actually don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was Mario Kart Advance. I think it was a launch title for Game Boy Advance. And then there was at least one on the DS. Actually, no, there was one on the DS and one on the 3DS, and I didn't play any of those. So none of the handheld ones.
I played the DS one a lot. It was actually pretty decent considering.
Okay.
Yeah, considering my dislike of that console in general.
What did you dislike about like the 3D aspects of it, or
Of like the
of the 3DS?
3DS. I don't know. Just I feel like at the time that I was introduced to it, I had already at that point been in like come to expect higher. I think it was in this. I wanted things to be polished kind of era, so I kind of put it on the back burner when it wasn't up to my
Right.
vain expectations of what a game should be. There was a little while I kind of tried to put the childishness of certain video games behind me, and which honestly I think was just a false perspective. Me trying to change something that I truly love, and then I ended up coming back to it, and it's good fun. That's all it is. Like, me being picky about what I expected from that era is completely contrary to me being able to go back to NES titles and truly enjoy every bit of it, from like the low-key 8-bit music to the the pixel graphics kind of thing. It's just being picky. That's the reason I didn't get too far into the 3DS and the DS and stuff.
I totally get that. I've went through similar phases as well. So then we come to Mario Kart 8, and I believe that is the best Mario Kart game. I think that the Switch might be the best Nintendo console, but I love the original Nintendo, the Nintendo Entertainment System. Just the look of it. In a way, I feel like the original NES is objectively ugly, but I love it. I like it. It has so much nostalgia. Like, it's just a gray box with a black strip on it. It just looks so 80s, so like 80s cars.
I was
like,
gonna say like it's 80s trying to be futuristic kind of thing.
Yeah, which was everything in the 80s
It
pretty
reminds me
much.
of the DeLorean a little bit.
Yeah.
Like the wing door.
But I love it. Anything, that whole iconography to do with the original NES, the controller and everything is great. So I have so much nostalgia for that. And nostalgia-wise, that would be my favorite Nintendo console. But the Switch, sorry, we're going to the Switch stuff, and this is going way off track. But it just has everything. Like, well, not literally everything, but it has a little bit of everything. And I like the first party games they've just knocked it out of the park.
Yeah,
Mario
absolutely.
Odyssey and Mario Kart 8.
Breath of the
Even
Wild,
though
even.
Mario Kart 8 is technically a Wii U game, they refined it and more people bought it on the Switch.
So we're just gonna, under technicalities, we're just gonna sweep that into the Switch.
Yeah.
Like, everything about it. Like, they've refined what they were good at, and they pushed the boundaries in ways that were acceptable. I think the Labo was kind of stupid. I'll be honest.
Yeah, the lame-o.
Yeah, it was literally $90 for like, a bunch of pieces of cardboard.
Let's get this cardboard that your kid can easily tear or like submerge in water. Like, I don't know if they put some special material on it to make it not like regular cardboard, but like I don't think many parents were gonna buy that thinking it's gonna be durable.
Yeah, and hypothetically speaking, say you got it for a kid who loves it, who plays it all the time. How long would that last in his sweaty little hands?
It would just melt in his hand.
Exactly. And then you spent $90 on something that he loved, and because of his love of it, the lifespan is ridiculous.
Mommy, I need another Labo.
I was
Labo? Is it Labo or Lab? It's Labo, I think. I think you said Labo.
Labo. Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just call it lame-o.
They were all over the. We had them where we work at Walmart, and they were marked down to $15. That's like 80% off because we just wanted them gone. And
Yeah.
somebody bought like 8 of them, and probably because they can and will sell them.
Yep.
I was like, you're just buying garbage. You're just buying garbage. I thought the. Oh no! Now we're just talking about games in general because I wanted to talk about Ring Fit.
That's alright.
I wanted to talk about Ring Fit next. I thought that was just absolutely the silliest
We
thing.
could film another video after this just to talk about ramble about games. I don't know.
Yeah. Now this is my opinion on the Ring Fit. Ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba. I hate it. That's basically it. No. I thought it was stupid. I thought it was trying to market something to parents to get to their children who are overweight. Because it was a mix of exercising and role-playing games, which are two things that are very rarely liked by the same people. But seeing it, and I've seen people play it in reviews and stuff like that, it does seem like if you are a person who likes role-playing games and likes to work out or wants to work out and maybe lose a little bit of weight, it is something that is viable for you. But at the same time, it's silly at the same time.
I knew nothing about it. I saw advertisements on the screens at Walmart, and I was like, I've never heard of this. And I didn't hear anyone else talk about it. So it just was something that was just there in the ether. But that seems to be the norm with me for games lately. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Until it comes out. I work in
Yeah.
a store that sells electronics, and I don't know what's coming out until it comes out.
Yeah.
I'm just so far behind nowadays. Gamers who are out of the loop. The Ring
Getting
Fit
old.
loop.
We're old.
That's what it is. Complaining about the younger generations. Friggin' tastes. I don't like these new open world games. I need a goal that has an end.
Wait, is that the older people or the younger people?
I'm an older person complaining about.
Oh, okay.
Basically, I was imagining Minecraft.
Yeah. I'm definitely like that. So is there anything else we want to talk about regarding Mario?
Mario in general.
I guess Mario in general, just quickly, like anything else interesting to bring up?
I love the music. I don't know who's writing the music for those guys, but everyone's a fucking banger. From Super Mario 1, the classic.
Oh, well, that's Koji Kondo. I was like, I know there's one name that's familiar.
And then fucking Super Mario Brothers. Oh, Super Mario Brothers 2 was Doki Doki, so I doubt they would have used the same music.
Yeah. But I think it's worked its way into the iconography of the game, like of all the games. Like, because Mario Odyssey had like a bunch, you could listen to the soundtrack, like go through like a CD and listen to all the songs on there, and they had songs from every period. So they probably had some from like Mario 2 or whatever, like, and the characters worked their way into those.
I find, like, I can't even describe how all the other Marios are kind of composed, but I feel like Super Mario 2, because it is a different one, it's very obvious to me, anyways, that it's very piano-y, like
Piano.
Western.
Piano.
Kind of thing, like kind of bouncy West.
That's interesting because it was based off Japanese game.
I know,
Doki
which is
Panic,
really
so
interesting.
It's Western. Just quickly, I wanted to say, because I don't know if they heard me, Koji Kondo is the main composer for these games. I know there was a name that was familiar. I couldn't think of it though. I just looked it up. I think, yeah, he composed. I don't know, maybe probably the majority of these games. I don't know. We're not going to sit here and look at Wikipedia, but
let's film us reading.
But whoever like he was composing, they continued the legacy of the series. Whoever's composing for each game, it was consistently great.
Yeah, consistently, immediately a classic.
Yeah. And the Mario movie, I used to like when I originally saw it, but I mean, I haven't seen it in a long time. I don't know. It sucks. I mean, I can just tell from my memories, but like from what people said of it. But
yeah, I liked it when I had no taste. I'll put it like that.
Yeah, that was all of us when we were younger. So don't hate.
Yeah, everything's made for somebody.
So yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. We didn't really talk about Mario Galaxy, but I've only played the second one like a little bit.
I've never played them.
Okay. They're the highest rated Mario games on Metacritic, so apparently they're something. But I think it may be one of those cases where critics like rated them highly, and then I've never heard any like average gamer talk shit about those games, but they're not usually within the top Mario games.
You want to talk about fucking new mechanics? Fuck the world thing. I always thought it would be weird to have like multiple small sections of these small enclosed little planets that you can walk around. But then again, that's me talking about something I haven't experienced.
They're not all. So I own Mario Galaxy 2, and I only played it for like 5 hours at most. And there's worlds that are big enough that you don't even notice that it's on a sphere. Like you're moving along it, and it just kind of maybe at some points it slightly curves, but it just kind of, there's times where it just feels like a regular Mario game. And then there's a co-op aspect where you can have the second player like have basically a cursor on the screen, like using the Wiimote, and select like, I think there's like gems or some kind of item that you have to like, I'm sure coins too.
I've seen people playing, and they end up like moving the cursor all over the screen in order to collect a lot of those pieces. I can't see how. It might be similar to the Super Mario Odyssey 2-player, where it's like it's kind of limited, but at the same time,
there's no real point to it, but it kind of enhances. And you're like, oh, do you want to play a co-op? You can play with me, like you give it to your little brother. It's like, this is a co-op. You want to play? You want to do something? Here, wave this thing around.
Which is that's kind of interesting to me now that I'm thinking. Like I keep saying Super Mario, but there's very few actual Super Marios in the context of what I'm talking about. Mario, when he's put onto anything that isn't a mainline Super Mario game, is a wonderful multiplayer game. But any of the main Super Mario games aren't the best two-player games.
You mean simultaneous multiplayer?
Simultaneous multiplayer. Or even like Super Mario
the original Mario Bros, not Super Mario Bros. Like, you know, where you're
Mario
jumping
Brothers.
on...
I keep saying Super in the place of any of the Mario games. So
fine.
like the turn-based Mario gaming style, I think, is not a very good two-player game. As much as I grew up handing the controller over to people, like we're talking about Super Mario Kart and other same time continuous competitive multiplayer games.
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's interesting that like they still try to shoehorn that 2-player in where it's still basically just a 1-player experience.
Mhm.
That's just me being cynical about something, which I enjoy to do.
So Nibbler's telling us that it's a wrap. So I think we've gone on pretty long. We could
The
keep
Nibbler
talking about
timer.
Mario forever.
The Nibbler Turner has come on.
So where can people find you? No, you don't. You don't.
I have no media. I have no social media. You cannot get a hold of me. Do not attempt to try.
So hopefully you'll be back on, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't
I'll drag you back on.
Yeah, I can't see a reason why I wouldn't be bribed into coming back here.
More beer.
Ooh, more beer. I'll
More
take more
beer.
beer.
We're gonna drink more beer and probably play some Mario Kart or Mario.
That's the most excited I've been today.
Yeah. Screw this video. We're just gonna play Mario. Just
Yep.
like
Fuck
the
this.
only way I got him to do this was like offered him beer. He's like, okay, fine, I'll do it.
Okay, fine. That's what our friendship is based off of.
Cheers. Even though you just got fizz left. All right, so we'll see you next time. Whatever. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Peace.